So this is a video to help you find alternatives to using a material called modroc. Now modroc is expensive. It's about $10 for a large roll, but you know, we don't really want to have to keep spending money on materials that are only going to get used once. So I'm going to show you alternatives to using modroc. So first of all, I'm just going to demonstrate the modroc. So I've dipped it in some water. Once I've done that, it's moldable. So it literally can like turn into like a squidgy shape, any shape I want. So I'm just going to use my example of, now this bit of modroc actually, if it gets wet and dries again, it actually is no use. So I'm going to demonstrate how you use modroc. Okay, so if I was making this into a 3D image, I would wet the modroc, roll it into a ball, and then just use my fingers to fill the shape that I was trying to achieve. So when this dries, it will dry hard, and we can do things like paint it and to turn it into some artwork. So that's modroc, okay? That's the material. Alternatives. So I've just got some kitchen towel here. What you'd want to do if you're going to use kitchen towel for the same technique is you'd want to add some glue, maybe PVA glue, to a small amount of water. So you'd have kind of a papier-mâché kind of effect. So you dip your tissue into your gluey water, okay? And then you would do a similar thing that we did with the modroc, in that you would manipulate the tissue. Now bear in mind, when this dries, it will dry hard because it's got a glue suspension in it. So you manipulate it into place, and the glue that's part of the suspension, so water and glue suspension that we're making, will hold it in place on the paper, okay? So that's option one as an alternative to modroc. Now, another option is PlayDoh. You don't have to buy the expensive PlayDoh. You can actually make it yourself with flour and a little bit of oil. I'm just going to pinch this. So pretty straightforward. I'm going to do a similar technique. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to press it into the shape that I want. Now, PlayDoh, when you leave it out of the tub, as I'm sure lots of you are aware, will dry hard. So there we go. That's an alternative to modroc using PlayDoh. Another thing you might use, which isn't ideal because, again, it's an expensive material, is AirDry Clay. But you never know, you might have some at home. So rather than buying modroc, you could use some AirDry Clay. So exactly the same technique really as we used with the PlayDoh. You're going to manipulate the AirDry Clay into your shape. So just using my fingers, going to manipulate it into the shape that I need. Okay, so there's alternative number 3 to modroc. And the last one has drawbacks. My last one is tinfoil. So tinfoil, once you've made your sculpture with it, you can glue it down, but it won't stand up to watercolor paints. Okay, the material itself is waterproof. So if you were going to try and paint over the top of a tinfoil sculpture, you would have to use an acrylic paint. So let's manipulate this into the shape that I need. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to just follow the outline, make sure it's pointy at the end. So I've been able to, just going to tease out the edges there a bit. I've been able to sculpt the similar kind of effect that I achieved with modroc. I've been able to sculpt with, I'm just going to squeeze that. I've been able to sculpt with tinfoil, tissue, and like a gluey water suspension, PlayDoh, and AirDry Clay. So hopefully those give you some alternatives to purchasing the expensive modroc. All right, thank you.